state conference the Town Team State Conference is presented and supported by the City of Bunbury and Pleco Energy. We will have a presenter from Pleco later, and to the City, thank you so much for your support. Our next speaker is Stephen Burgess, Making Streets for People. This man is a change agent for cities. He brings 30 years' experience as a transport engineer and urban strategist, so he knows his stuff and understands the backstory that helps reform the balance between car parking and people, spreading the divide and bringing it together. He's an author of Complete Streets, Guidelines to Urban Street Design, published in 2010, and is a contributor to 2 other international street-making publications. Could you please put your hands together for Stephen Burgess?
It's had lots of good energy put into it, so that'll be great. Hello everyone, it's good to see everyone in real live human flesh instead of on the little stupid screen with 24 little things on it. I'm over in the West. I seem to have this nice cycle where I get to come to Bunbury every 5 years, which is great. What do you think I noticed had changed about Bunbury since the last time I was here? There's a few people outside, yeah. Yes, indeed. The thing I was thinking I noticed was more people outside, yeah, and even into the evening. Not as late as into the evening as Jimmy, but late enough anyway. It's good to see exciting things. You're all in the game, so someone should actually be able to answer this question. Who's got a favourite street? Yell it out. Such a good build-up, didn't I? Nothing. Oh, Town Teams people, you haven't got a favourite street. Sesame Street. There you go. So most people tend to answer that question enthusiastically with a street that they live in maybe, or they trade in, or they've gone on a holiday and they take a photo of this beautiful street. We all know what they are. Yeah, this one looks good, I like the feel of this. I reckon I've asked that question to maybe 20,000 people all around the world at workshops and things like this. And it's 2 things that are common. No one ever says, I like that street because it's really easy to park and there's lots of car traffic. And the other thing, out of all those thousands and thousands of people, nobody has picked a street that has been built after the Second World War. So with all the smart urban economists and architects and design wankers and engineers and all those people, between us all, we can't make a street that people like anymore. Can you believe that? Now, the good thing about making great streets is that it's easy as pie. In fact, even, it wouldn't be very good economic for me, or financially for me, but if you sent me a photo of your street and said, Steve, this one's not working right, Madeline and I could put together a package that said, look, in year 1 do this, year 2 do this, year 3 do that, yeah, and the only problem you'd have after that is all your traders would need a bigger wheelbarrow to take the money home in. It's easy to do. The problem is, we just don't do it. The mistake we've made is we're slowly turning our streets, our town centres, into convenience centres. Who's been to a Westfield or an AMP, one of those big shopping centres, yeah? Everyone's been to one of them. They trade on inconvenience. Those clever little pricks make you park miles and miles and miles away from the shop that you want to go to. And then you got to walk and fucking walk and walk and walk. And then, you know, I'm just got to go and pick up my dry cleaning, but then I can smell the delicious coffee and the bacon sandwich and the beautiful coloured dress window. I get sucked in to buying stuff I didn't even want to buy. Incidental spend is that it's 30% higher in shopping centres than in main streets. If you can do this in your main street, if it's like, right, I've got to go and get my... Oh, I want to tell the story or not. Yeah, well. So I've got to go into town, into the main street. And I've got to pick up one thing, and I know there's pretty much going to be a car space in there for me. So I decide to drive in town. Only 10 minutes drive, I drive in, pull up outside the chemist, mate, can I have a packet of condoms, thanks? I get them, and I drive off, right? Now, what say there's hardly any parking, got a super, super busy, little skinny ass main street, and I thought, Shit. Oh, it's great having the minister swear before, because now I feel completely free to speak however I like. So, right, it's a big shit fight in there. I'm never going to get it, so I'm going to park way the hell over here. Then I've got to walk all the way over to the chemist. And I'm walking and I get to, oh, grog shop. That might help. I have a bottle of wine, thanks. Get a bit further along. Florist. Ooh, that might help a bit. Get some in. There the vegan. Now I walk back to the car. Ooh, need a bit of Dutch courage, but come in and have a beer. And then off I go on my adventure. All that stuff, I only wanted to go here. But you all, because of your beautiful shop windows or your nice smelling coffee or your delicious murmur of a noise around a bar, it sucked me in. That's how town centres work. If yours is not working on that, it's too convenient to get in and out, you cannot survive. You've got to get people out of their car as soon as you can and keep them out for as long as you can. And don't let them back in until their wallets are empty. The second biggest shopping centre in Australia is in the northern suburb of Brisbane at a place called Chermside. Yeah? Who wants to have a guess about what the average walk around Chermside is? Not a rhetorical question. Yell out, quick, make a noise, somebody. A kilometre, 5Ks, almost no one goes high, but that's a tiny bit too high. 4 and a bit, yeah? So how far, if I'm standing here, someone said, oh, look, there's plenty of fun to be had in Bunbury, you just got to park 4 kilometres away. Yeah? So somehow you got to make your town centre that delicious that it's worth walking that far. Chermside's a shithole, isn't it? But it comes, and look, Perth and Brisbane both kind of suffer from the same things. You've got so much urban sprawl that you've only got sort of one real choice to start your journey, and it's to use a car. I love what Melissa was saying, but it leads to, this road safety thing is one of the great oxymorons of all time, isn't it? There's nothing safe about driving a car. It's just like smoking cigarettes. If you do it long enough, often enough, eventually you, one of your family members, will get seriously injured or you'll die. And yet, we make subdivisions where that is the only choice people have got to move. That is just plain mean. It's mean. People have to have choice about their housing and about their mobility. We've got to make more. You know what good streets look like. You take photos of them and you go away, bring them back, go up to your council and say, look, we want one of these. I mean, it's not that hard, is it? Well, who's seen this picture in their local government documents somewhere or other, or state government documents? What's this thing? Oh, yeah. So they kind of pretend that these people are really important up here and these horrible machines down here don't matter at all. They're the lowest of the low. Da, da, da. Now, I would believe you if that's the way your budget was stacked up. How many local government budgets are like this? None. This still gets all the love and it still gets all the money. The public space that we manage in town centres, there's only basically 2 things you do. You're either moving or you're exchanging. So moving, you've got to get from A to B, you store your car, you park your bike, all that sort of stuff. That's all movement infrastructure. The exchange bit, and it doesn't have to be money for stuff. You exchange hugs and addresses and phone numbers, smiles, abuse, whatever. It's very important that you get that balance right, and nearly all of us don't. If you've got, this is the bit that costs you money, the movement space, yeah? Anyone who's seen a local government will know that's where all the money goes. So you need this bit to get your money back. If you've got too much movement space and not enough exchange space, you've got too much money going out, not enough money coming in, that's not going to work for you, yeah? You need to get that balance right. And this is the trick of it all. Machines and humans like the opposite things. So every little thing you do to your town centre to make it easier for a car, you and I will like it less. So a little left turn slip lane, extra car parking space, a little bit of extra green time at the intersection. All this stuff makes it nice and easy, convenient for the car to get in, but we will like it less. Noisier for us, harder to cross the street, less pleasant to sit down. Like all the delicious things we love about town centres, we get to do them less if we love the machine too much. If you like a place less, how often do you go? Only if you really have to, only if you desperately need condoms. Yeah? And then when you go in, you spend as little time there as you can, which means you spend only a little amount of money. You have to make your town centres so that people will stick, stop, stay and spend. Yeah? And you all know what they look like. You've all visited streets like that. It's like a really good piss up. You just don't want to go home. So make them like that. If you fall in love with them, make one that you're going to fall in love with. Make it inconvenient for the machine. Just make it so that you, us humans, that we will love it and we don't want to leave. This is the crux of the problem we've got. See that line there in the middle? I can use my pointer. This one here, most people understand this. If I pay $1 for a bus fare, you all throw in a little bit extra because it's economically worth me catching the bus. I didn't take up road space, I didn't take up it's worth it. It's subsidised transport and the community understands that. Even if they don't agree with it, they understand it. This is what they don't understand. Every time I spend $1 driving, you all got to, and that doesn't take long when you're driving, does it? You all got to pay $9. It is the most subsidised form of transport there is, and it's by a lot. If you have everyone driving in your town, you can't afford that. Let more people live close to places they want. Parking is a thing. This is one of the things I didn't like is still about Bunbury. Angle parking. It's a death knell for towns. If you've still got it in 5 years, half of those shops on there will be closed. It's just a fact. You can't get around it. You need more exchange space. That just takes up too much valuable exchange. You can't use it. All it does is make your street look fat ass ugly. Move it, change it, do something else. You're in a competitive race. Every town around the world is trying to get more young, innovative, entrepreneur millennials to move to their town. Irritating and obnoxious and arrogant as they are, you desperately need them in your town. If you see one on the side of the road, pick it up and take it home with you. Those delicious young people, they start businesses, they create jobs, they give your town, they think they're going to get rich, so they spend more money than they've got. You have got to get some more into your town. And there's two things that they will not tolerate. If their only housing choice is a detached house, you're off the list. And if they need to buy a car, you're also off the list. You've got to get cracking on this. New Zealand are way ahead of us on this. I'm nearly finished, I promise. I could just see a little warning thing coming. Just the glint in her eye. Yeah. Minimum parking rate. Can you believe that to get an approval to get something built in Western Australia, nearly every local government says to me, look, Steve, here we've got a minimum amount of economic and environmental damage you've got to do before I'll let you build anything. Get rid of it. No minimum parking rate. Local government, parking is a business you have got to get out of altogether. You've got to stop making your towns for machines and start making them for us. You've all seen beautiful places. Get off your ass and build one. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
And if you see him in the chemist tonight, be scared. Just saying.